All right, welcome back. We're going to read chapter 9. Now, I know I'm showing you chapter 8 right here, but I just wanted to go back to look at this paragraph and think, what does it mean? Now, after thinking about it for a little while, I kind of have a better idea. So I'm going to read it one more time. The news that a peach almost as big as a house had suddenly appeared in someone's garden spread like wildfire across the countryside, and the next day a stream of people scrambling up the steep hill to gaze upon this marvel. Lots of new vocabulary in there. So basically, the news that there is a gigantic peach the news started to spread across the area, the town, the countryside, and all of a sudden people started going to the house where James lives, going up that hill to look at that gigantic peach. So that's basically what that paragraph means. All right, let's go to chapter 9. Whoop. Chapter 9. Hungry and trembling, James stood alone out in the open, wondering what to do. The night was all around him now. High overhead, a wild white moon was riding in the sky. There was not a sound, not a movement anywhere. Most people, and especially small children, are often quite scared of being out of doors alone in the moonlight. Everything is so deadly quiet, and the shadows are so long and black, and they keep turning into strange shapes that seem to move as you look at them, and the slightest little snap of a twig makes you jump. James felt exactly like that now. He stared straight ahead with large, frightened eyes, hardly daring to breathe. Not far away, in the middle of the garden, he could see the giant peach towering over everything else. Surely it was even bigger tonight than ever before. And what a dazzling sight it was! The moonlight was shining and glinting on its great curving sides, turning them to crystal and silver. It looked like a tremendous silver ball lying there in the grass, silent, mysterious, and wonderful. And then, all at once, little shivers of excitement started running over the skin on James's back. Now remember, James never actually got to go close to this peach because the ants kept telling him to go away, go away. So maybe that's why he's out here at night, because this is his only chance to come into contact with this great giant mass of a peach. Something else, he told himself, something stranger than ever this time, is about to happen to me again. He was sure of it. He could feel it coming. He looked around him, wondering what on earth it was going to be. The garden lay soft and silver in the moonlight. The grass was wet with dew, and a million dewdrops were sparkling and twinkling like diamonds around his feet. And now suddenly the whole place, the whole garden, seemed to be alive with magic. Almost without knowing what he was doing, as though drawn by some powerful magnet, James Henry Trotter started walking slowly toward the giant peach. He climbed over the fence that surrounded it and stood directly beneath it, staring up at its great bulging sides. He put out a hand and touched it gently with the tip of his finger. It felt soft and warm and slightly furry, like the skin of a baby mouse. He moved a step closer and rubbed his cheek lightly against the soft skin, and then suddenly, while he was doing this, he happened to notice that right beside him and below him, close to the ground, there was a hole in the side of the peach. What do you guys think? What's in that hole? Who made the hole? How did it happen? Here's the peach. Now we get a sense of how huge and giant this peach is. That's a full grown boy. Maybe not full grown, maybe your guys' age. 7, 8, and a huge peach right next to him. That's chapter 9. We will continue chapter 10. Chapter 10. It was quite a large hole, the sort of thing an animal about the size of a size of a fox might have made. James knelt down in front of it and poked his head and his shoulders inside. He crawled in. He kept on crawling. This isn't just a hole, he thought excitedly. It's a tunnel. The tunnel was damp and murky, and all around him there was the curious, bittersweet smell of fresh peach. The floor was soggy under his knees, and the walls were wet and sticky. The peach juice was dripping from the ceiling. James opened his mouth and caught some of it in his tongue. It tasted delicious. He was crawling uphill now as though the tunnel were leading straight toward the very center of the gigantic fruit. Every few seconds he paused and took a bite out of the wall. The peach flesh was sweet and juicy and marvelously refreshing. So can you imagine? He sees a little hole in a tunnel and he starts crawling in there, taking bites, dripping. It says it's starting to go toward the very center of the peach. He crawled on for several more yards, and then suddenly, bang! The top of his head bumped into something extremely hard, blocking his way. He glanced up. In front of him there was a solid wall that seemed at first as though it were made of wood. He touched it with his fingers. It certainly felt like wood, except that it was very jagged and full of deep grooves. Oh, good heavens! I know what this is. I've come to a stone in the middle of a peach. Now, stone is a British English word for seed, or the pit of the peach, a stone. Then he then he noticed that there was a small door cut into the face of the peach stone. He gave a push. It swung open. He crawled through it, and before he had time to glance up and see where he was, he heard a voice say, "Look! Look who's here! We've been waiting for you," says another voice. James stopped and stared at the speakers. His face was white with horror. He started to stand up, but his knees were shaking so much he had to sit down again on the floor. He glanced behind him, thinking he could bolt back into the tunnel the way he had come, but the doorway had disappeared. There was now only a solid brown wall behind him. Chapter 11. Ooh, I'm going to hide that. Oh, I'm going to hide that. We will find out on next time we read chapter 11 who is behind that door and who is talking. All right, guys. Until next time, see ya.